Hello, everyone. We are Team 18 presenting the Castaway. Team 18 consists of Garrett, Hunter, Miteb, Scott, and myself, Cole. As a quick little overview, we're going to run through an intro. We're going to review the design, run through the pitch, get a little bit more details on the project, talk budget, and then open the floor for questions.
The Castaway is a revolutionary new product that helps a person fish parts of a lake never thought possible before. It features two components, a compressed gas launcher that is powered by CO2 and a proprietary capsule that protects the bait and opens up upon impact when hitting the water. The capsule also acts as a bobber and a way to accurately guide the fishing line to the depths below. The capsule is fully retrievable and reusable. The launcher is the important part, however, sending bait and lures up to 300 feet out, which is 5 times a normal human's casting distance, letting fishermen catch fish from shore that were never thought possible. You may be wondering, well, how important is it to cast 300 feet out as opposed to 60? Well, looking at the depths of Lake Mead, for example, one of the world's premier fishing spots, the depth 60 feet out is around 20 feet deep in the Central Bay. However, 300 feet out, that depth becomes close to 400 feet deep. What's important about this is that larger fish, around 3 feet long or longer, are 96% more likely to live in water deeper than 100 feet deep. And without the Castaway, there is absolutely no way to catch these fish from shore. The Castaway doesn't have any true competition. There isn't a single product on the market that can accomplish what the Castaway can, so by default, any entry-level boat would be the main competitor. But for an entry-level hobbyist, this really isn't a competition at all. The Castaway can fit into almost any backpack and would retail for less than $50. Boats, on the other hand, require maintenance, upfront costs in the tens of thousands of dollars, and an immense storage area. The Castaway is also safer, more reliable, more convenient, and more inclusive than any watercraft, as it brings down the paywall that limits catching large fish to those who can only afford a boat. Now, why the fishing industry, you might ask? Well, the answer is simple: money, and fishermen spend lots of it. In fact, the average hobbyist spends $1,290 on accessories alone, and the industry itself is valued around $80 billion. It is also a growing industry, and brick and mortar fishing stores have increased by 25% over the last 10 years, and currently 200 million people worldwide claim to be fishermen. The industry, however, has seen little to no changes, besides fancier fishing lines and maybe more rigid fishing poles in the last 50 years. However, there's still this massive paywall that divides those who can fish large fish and those who can't because of the price of a boat. Because of this, the target market is huge, and any fishermen over the age of 18 who fish from shore are the people who we want to target.
And today I will be talking about how far, how portable, and how durable our product, the Castaway, is. So how far does our product launch? We used a series of kinematic equations, which basically are equations used to determine how far an object will go given initial angle, height, and velocity. So for some initial conditions, which were relatively small just to show the distance we can achieve with such a low velocity, we achieved 282 feet. Now to put this in perspective, one football field without the end zones is around 300 feet. And this was a very slow launch, so this is really promising to us early on, because a typical paintball gun using the same type of cartridge, a CO2 cartridge, shoots at 300 feet per second, so we could expect to see further distances with a higher velocity. So for the portability of the Castaway, the length came to around 1.3 feet, the width around 2.68 inches, and the height to around 6.25 inches. The weight, since this was made out of PVC and the CO2 cartridge aluminum, came to around 33.9 ounces, which is around 2.11 pounds. These dimensions and weights allows it to nicely fit into a small 20-liter backpack. But you might be asking yourself, how durable is this product since it is only made out of primarily PVC and a 3D printed capsule? So, for the analysis we did, we applied a very high PSI to account for a factor of safety, which was around 600 PSI. So for the launcher, the max stress that it was able to withstand is around 5.423 KSI, which is 5,423 PSI. This wasn't achieved in the launcher itself, but the highest value achieved during the testing was around 4 KSI. So now for the capsule, the max stress was 7,000 KSI, and it was achieved, but in a very small location. This location was the hole where the fishing line will go through. Now, although it achieved max stress, this doesn't necessarily mean it'll break instantly. It just means there's a high stress concentration happening in that area.
And for the budget and all the finances, we divided it into two components, an early stage manufacturing and mass production, which is a later stage after we go through the early stages and gather enough funds to start mass production. Firstly, the cost of manufacturing, and that is divided into two stages. The first stage is the early stage manufacturing. The cost of manufacturing based on off-the-shelf material and being handmade is around $290. This is not counting in labor pay. And then the second stage is mass production. The cost of manufacturing based on mass production is estimated to be around $188, also not counting in labor pay. Secondly, product pricing, which is divided into two brackets. The first bracket is the early stage manufacturing pricing. Based on the manufacturing price and around 50% profit margin, the price for the handmade product will be around $435. A 50% profit margin was ideal in this stage as the production rate is low as it is handmade. The second bracket is mass production pricing. Based on mass production price and around 25% profit margin, the price for the product will be $236. A 25% profit margin is ideal in this later stage as the production rate is high, and that gives us the possibility to lower our prices while still being profitable. Finally, return on investment and profitability, which is also divided into two parts, early stage manufacturing and mass production. For the early stage manufacturing, based on the product price and cost of manufacturing this stage, we estimated that the product will be profitable after a year. For the mass production stage, based on the cost to mass produce the product and the selling price, we estimated that the product will be profitable after 2 years. This is due to the higher cost of setting up a facility and machinery to produce in larger volumes and rates. Final, any questions?